Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Sound okay? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Today I'm going to go back to chapter number 5. I would like to just go through the problems. Have you tried the problem in chapter number 5? I want to make sure you'll be able to do the questions, especially question 1 and 2. And then the test, okay? The test will cover only chapter 3, 4, 5. Okay, there'll be 3 chapters only. So not much. Okay, not much. So I think if you did or if you do badly in the test, I don't know, I don't know what's the problem because there are only 3 chapters. So I expect everybody to do better than the quiz. Okay, now let's go to chapter number 5, question number 1. Now, anybody who has tried that question, because I thought I already told you, give you the idea on how to do that problem. Now, did you try to do that question? Anybody try? Siapa dah try? Okay, one Nur Fatihah. Have you tried that question, number 1, the problem? Anik, have you tried that question? Huh? Anik, are you here? Okay, you are here because I saw your name. Okay, question number 1, part A. Well, if the gardeners to be hired in the market, sold in the market, how many gardeners would be hired? Now, the gardener is public good. So, part A, what is the answer? And how you get that answer? Anybody lah? Takkan seorang pun tak boleh buat. Okay, Nur Hani.
No gardeners, huh?
No gardeners. Why no gardeners?
Because the marginal benefit and the marginal cost.
Because the marginal benefit, all right, the market marginal benefit or the market demand for a private good, if it is a private good, that means provided by the market. If you sum, we sum according to what? We do the horizontal summation. That means you sum the quantities at each price. Is that right? So that means for these people, they have identical demand function. Identical means everything the same. Okay? So for the market demand function, what is the price? What is the price for the first quantity? I mean, to sum up the demand function, all right, what would be the first point? That means at the price equal to what? To 100, what is the quantity? What is the quantity? If it is a private good, we do the summation, at each price, because everybody pay the same price, you sum the quantities. So at the price of 100, which is the highest price, what is the quantity for the market demand? How many people are there? If you look at the question, how many people? There are 7 people. Okay. Now, at the price of 100, what is the quantity demanded for everybody? 1. So if you want to get the market demand at price of 100, how many quantities at 100? What is the quantity demanded then? No, Lin. What is the quantity demanded for the market? Ni mesti tak buat langsung ni. You know, at least you have to try that question, you know, before I discuss today. So you have here the price equal to 100, you know, Q equal to 1, and there are 7 people. Okay, everybody has the same identical demand function. So you want to get the market demand when the price equal to 100. What is the total Q demanded? When the price is equal to 100.
7, sir.
Then Q demanded is equal to how much? Berapa?
7.
7 lah. Okay? Because you sum quantities at the same price. So you got there, you know, for the market demand, if the good is a private good, then you got that marginal cost 350, which is equal to the average cost. Everybody demand, okay, is the same. So 100 here, and that is quantity equal to 1. So that is the first amount, the first point. So maybe the demand function will look like that. Now you can to get the market demand. That means at each price you sum the quantities. Okay, by now everybody should know this. Okay, if you don't know, you have to read. You have 2 more days. So you sum the quantities. There are 7 people. Everybody demand 1, so total is 7. So your market demand will be somewhere here. Quantity 7, there will be 100. All right. So you will get, you know, the market, right? The market will, if you, I don't know, you know, if that is 100, if you extend up, or that's the highest point, you know, that's the highest point. Because the highest point is, the highest price is 100, you know, so that will be the highest point. You cannot go any more than that, all right? So like our friend was saying, the market demand will go like that. That's the market demand. So therefore, if you look at the equilibrium, what is the condition for equilibrium? Demand equal to supply, or the marginal benefit equal the marginal cost. And you will see here, there will be no equilibrium because there is no intersection. All right, no intersection between the demand and the supply. So therefore, the market will fail to provide the private. I mean, the market will fail to provide the good. Okay, all right. Now, if you look at part B, okay, if you look at part B, you assume, okay, you assume the efficient gardener is 3. So when we assume it's 3, that is the efficient. Now, when you would say efficient, that means it's the Lindahl model. Okay, efficient means the Lindahl model, where we pay everybody at the equilibrium quantity the marginal benefit. So if that is the case, then 3 you go up there, that's the equilibrium point. So that is our market demand function, okay, for the good. And that is the equilibrium. Now, when you talk about the equilibrium, that is the Lindahl model, the voluntary contribution. So everybody will pay their marginal benefit, okay? So that is at 3. So question is, what is the political equilibrium if each voter is assigned 50? So now that's the efficient, okay? That's the Lindahl model. So you know the efficient is Q equal to 3, where the market demand function, okay, equal to the marginal cost. That's point. So now that second part is if T equal to 50, okay? Now how do you get that 50? 350 divided by 7, okay? The tax share is 50. So you find the political equilibrium. So what is the political equilibrium? The political equilibrium is the model where you do the voting. Okay, so now you have to differentiate. Okay, I think many people are still confused. But now you shouldn't be confused anymore. Okay, political equilibrium is by the voting. The efficiency point is by the Lindahl model or the voluntary contribution. Voluntary contribution will result in efficient point. Political equilibrium does not necessarily lead to efficient point. Okay, it can be under certain condition, but generally they will not be the same. Okay, but here, okay, here is the thing. If the tax is equal to 50, will what is the political equilibrium? So now you have to know at the price equal to, at the quantity equal to 3, what is the price here? So we don't have information, okay, enough information, but we can, I think, okay, I will make this the following. If you look at that question, they say perfectly correlated. Okay, perfectly correlated. I don't know, you know, when you have perfectly correlated, that means the coefficient of correlation is equal to 1. The coefficient of correlation, I don't know, I forgot the symbol. I think it's something like that, correlation coefficient, equal to 1. That means perfectly correlated. So the change is about the same, you know. If one quantity change by double, okay, 100%, the other quantity will also change by 100%. If I go by this one, all right, then when you have price equal to 100, Q equal to 1. So if this is 50, that will be 2. So it's not perfectly correlated. I mean, perfectly correlated, that means when we go to 3, that will be 0. Okay? So I think, okay, what this question is trying to do is this. Rather than, you know, of course, you assume perfect correlation, but they want to see, okay? They want to see that the political equilibrium will be the same as the efficiency point. So we do this adjustment. Perfectly correlated means 75, 50. Okay, so we assume 50 that is Q equal to 3, that will be 50. 275 will be something like that. So that would be the point. I'm not going to ask you something like this. You know, this is tricky. Sometimes it's not clear. You know, it should be clear. You know, if you want to give the demand function, give the point. So that will be easy, everybody. So that will, no, I will not ask you something like that. Okay, I'm not going to ask you tricky things to find something. Okay, now if Q equal to 3, the price equal to 50, what is the political equilibrium? Okay, what is the political equilibrium if you do the voting now? You go by 100 first, huh? Okay, if the price is 100, if the quantity is 100, the price they are willing to pay is 100, the tax share is 50, all right? So what is the outcome of the voting for Q equal to 1?
All residents will vote yes.
All residents will vote
yes.
Will vote yes. Okay, is that right? Because the price they are willing to pay is bigger than the tax. All right. So I go one more. I increase the Q one more because it's unanimous. So now you go to 75. If I go to 75, what is the voting outcome?
Still the Same, sir.
Still 100%, right? Everybody will vote yes. Now I go to 50. I increase the Q, increase the, I'm sorry, I increase Q to 3. What is the equilibrium now? I mean, how many vote yes?
7, sir.
Still, everybody vote yes. Okay? So everybody vote yes. You can only simple majority. Okay? So I increase to 4. All right? Now, if I increase to 4, then what is the outcome? Look at the graph. You know, when Q equal to 4, how many people will vote yes? How many will vote no? You know, you do by the what you know, you do by the same process as we did for the first 3 units. So if Q equal to 4, then what will be the voting outcome? Okay, Adura, what is the voting outcome?
I'm not sure, sir, but I don't think everyone will vote yes.
So what is the outcome? I don't think everybody will vote yes. What does it mean? You are right, but what does it mean? Be more explicit. If you say not everybody vote yes, that means some people will vote no. Okay? So now I want to be more specific. That's correct. What you say is correct. But how many people vote yes? How many people vote no? Okay, Nabil. How many people vote yes? How many people vote no? If the output is 3, no, 4.
3 people vote yes, 1 vote no.
No, there are only 4 people. There are 7 people here. 7. Okay, there are 7 people. And the texture is 50. Now you are voting Q equal to 4. So we cannot say 3 people vote yes, 1 people vote no, because there are 7 people.
Sir, 2 vote
Sir,
no,
4.
and then
Huh?
5
Yeah, go
vote
ahead.
2 vote no,
Is-
and then 5 for yes.
No, sir, it's 4.
I think opposite, yeah.
How is that? How 2 vote yes, 5 vote no? How?
2 no, not 5 no.
I know. Yes,
2
yeah.
no,
If
and
2
then
no, 5 yes, how do you get the difference?
I mean 3.
So it's 4 yes, 3 no.
No. You have to look at that point. You know that
3 yes, 4 no.
you look at the price. Okay, you look at the price. Look at the tax. Which one is higher? Now the condition
3.
for which one is higher now? At the Q equal to 4. Is the marginal benefit bigger than the tax, or it's the other way around?
The tax is bigger.
You know, you have already the rule. The marginal benefit bigger or equal to the tax, you vote yes, which we already apply for the Q equal to 3, 2, and 1. Now at Q equal to 4, okay, what is the condition of the marginal benefit compared to the tax? Okay, what is it? Now you
The
look at
marginal benefit is smaller than the tax.
the marginal benefit is smaller than the tax. Okay, now everybody has the same demand function. They are the same. So who vote yes and who vote no?
Everyone will vote no.
Everyone will vote no. Okay, it's just like what you did for the first 3. Everyone vote yes. So for the Q equal to 4, everyone will vote no. So here, everyone will say no. Why? Because for everybody, okay, for all, the marginal benefit is less than the tax, equal to 50. So everybody vote no. So what is the political equilibrium? Here, you cannot have a simple majority because everybody's demand function is the same. So what we learn here is, if your demand function is the same, everybody has the same demand function, then what is the, if you do the voting, how do you, what is the outcome of that voting?
All the voting results will be the same.
They will be unanimous. Okay, it will be unanimous because everybody has the same demand function. Okay, so everybody will be the median voter. Everybody's demand function is the same. So it's either you vote, either all vote yes and all vote no. So here the equilibrium will be 3. Why? Because that is the last point where people vote yes. Okay, it can be 1, but if you do 1, you know, it's too little. Why? Because if I go to 2, you still vote the same thing. All right. So the last point or the last output level will be 3. So what this question is trying to tell you is this: if, okay, if under what I shouldn't say if. So the political equilibrium is 3. The efficient output level is 3. Now, like I said earlier, political equilibrium does not necessarily be equal to the efficient point. But in this case, they are equal, they are the same. Now, why they are the same? What is the reason, you know, for the two equilibrium to be the same? Because that is the question from part B.
So is it because of their demand function are all the same?
That is because, you're right, because the demand function are the same. So if everybody's demand function are the same, all right, then the political equilibrium will be equal to the efficient or Lindahl equilibrium or the efficient point. Okay, because that will end up, because everybody has the same demand function, so the political equilibrium would be the outcome of voting by unanimous choice. So the last output level that you will vote yes would be the efficient point. Okay, and everybody will pay the tax share 50, and that is the payment that they're going to pay, and that is the most preferred choice. The marginal benefit will be just equal to the tax for everyone. Okay, all right. So at the equilibrium here, my here is already finished. So if you look at the discussion, okay, I think that is the main point for this question. So if, okay, if the demand function identical, so if you have identical demand function for everyone, all right, then you will see the political equilibrium will be equal to the Lindahl equilibrium. Okay, Lindahl equilibrium means the efficient point, right? The political equilibrium by the voting. So everybody will pay the marginal benefit equal to the tax. Everybody is the median voter. So you don't have anything, any objection. Everybody behave the same manner. So they are equal. All right. And of course, here everybody will pay their own marginal benefit. Okay. But the thing is, they'll be equal. So the distribution of the demand function, like we said earlier, is also important to determine, all right, to determine how many people are happy, how many people are not happy, like that. Okay, so if you go home, you know, I think I discussed that a little bit last time. If the demand function is more dispersed, okay, you have people has more demand function over there, something like that. And if the demand function are more closely together, you can see, you know, you can see the distribution, and that that can, you know, have implication on the happiness of the voters. Okay, all right, good. Now we look at question number 2. I have to go to another. Okay, you look at question number 2. Okay, here you do the voting. Okay, I don't think this question is really by the voting. And here, all right, you will see that 2 people, Franklin and Susan, have identical demand function. So you will not get 50 plus 1. Okay, so that's question number 2. I think that one is, if you can do number 1, we already discussed. Number 2, we're not very difficult. Now, what I would like to do for question number 2, for the Susan, so that we can get the 50% plus 1. So we change the number a little bit. So if I want to change that number a little bit, how can we do that? If the texture is 50, okay, if the texture is 50. So now I want to make adjustment to the Susan, okay, Susan demand function. But if we want to do that, we need to do also the demand function. So if you look at the thing here, if the T is equal to 50, okay, I want you to help me. If the T is equal to 50, then what is the marginal cost or the average cost to provide the public good? So now, what is the marginal cost, which is also equal to the average cost? Equal to what? And there are 5 people here. So what is the marginal cost or the average cost? We go by the average cost. You can get from here. And then from the average cost, we say it is equal to marginal cost. All right, what is the average cost?
250.
250. Okay. You know the average cost, you know the number of people, you get the tax share. Now I know the tax share, I know how many people, so you can get this. All right. So if you do that, okay, I want you to sum up the marginal benefit. I know the average cost is 250. So you get for me the marginal benefit, the market demand. At Q equal to 1. Anybody has calculator? Can you do that? I don't have calculator. I have, you know, handphone. Handphone is used. Can you, some people do for Q equal to 1, equal to 2, equal to 3. All right. So how do you, can you do it quickly? What do you get for Q equal to 1?
750.
Apa?
750.
Okay, 750. Q equal to 2?
550.
550. 3?
350.
350. Oh, 350. Tak ada pula. 350.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, for the Susan, did we use the number that you gave or the one that in textbook?
Now I'm trying to change, but now I don't. So it's
Okay,
350, 350, and then 4 is 175. So I think the problem here is this. I think I have you know, discussed this last semester. Probably for this question, they were thinking about 7 people. You know, 7 people. You tax share 50, then the average cost would be 350. But here, if you do that 350, you know, that 350, you divide by 5 people, then the tax share shouldn't be 50 lah, you know. So if okay, let's say we make it as T equal to 50. All right, if T equal to 50, that means you change the average cost from Did they say 250? So then, all right, if the tax share is, so I don't think we need the average the cost one, right? If you do by the voting, okay, let's say you do by the voting, then you will get that. Okay. So try do this. You know that separate cost, but to do the voting, all right, you may not you don't have to, you don't need that thing. You need only the tax share, okay, and do the voting and see what we'll get. So of course you know that one, but don't worry about this. You will worry about the t equal to 50. So now I'm going to change Susan's demand function. The one that is given in the book, you do as first part, all right? So that one, keep the information first. So for the Susan, we do this, we change it. So Susan becomes, okay, Susan, sini pergi. For Q equal to 1, kata jadi 70. Okay, Q equal to 2, then become kita tahu 60 lah. 60. And then 2 will be 45. Okay, Q equal to 3, 20. And then 4 tu tak apalah, 0 juga. Now when you do this, we will get, all right, we get 50 plus 1. Okay, if you go by the question as per it is, you get Q equal to 3. Okay, Q equal to 3, Q equal to 2. Okay, so that is second part. Okay, that's the second part. The one that is by the question, you have the first part. So I don't think this thing now will enter the analysis yet. We just want to see the equilibrium. So if the tax share is 50, what is the equilibrium for the public good? The political equilibrium. We go by the original demand functions, all right? This one will be second part. I want you to do it at home. Okay, now let's go by the book. When Q equal to 1, will that go through? What is the voting outcome? Tax share
Oh,
is,
we'll say yes.
everybody will say yes. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Now at Q equal to 2.
Only 4 say yes.
4 yes,
only
1
4
no.
say yes, okay? Because you have to argue lah. For Mike, they say yes because the marginal benefit, which is 275, is much higher than the tax, which is 50. So you go down up to Susan. Okay, Susan will also say yes because the marginal benefit is 50, which is exactly equal to the tax, which is 50 lah. And the last person, Megan, will vote no because the marginal benefit is 25, less than the tax. So she will vote no. Now what about 3?
2 yes,
2
3 no.
yes, 3 no. Okay, so 3 will be out. So our last output level, where you have majority voting, is 2. So for that question, that part, Q equal to 2. Okay, that will be our political equilibrium by voting. So you do the voting. So here you don't have 3 plus 1. You have win. Okay, 4 against 2. So you win by 4 votes against 2. That is 50%. 50% plus 2. Okay. All right. Yeah, no, 50% plus 2. 50%, 4 versus 1. Okay. So 50% plus 2 against 1. So if you convert to percentage, then it will be very high percentage, not a simple majority. So you can show that that will not be the efficient outcome. So when you want to do the efficient outcome, you will need the average cost. Okay, so what we will do, we'll use the average cost as 250. Okay, so pakai 250 lah. Kalau pakai 250 pula, bolehlah pakai 250. Alright? Okay, good. Will be 250. The average cost will be 250. Tapi when you sum them up, here you got 350. You see? So that is the problem. So now, okay, you cannot compare to the Lindahl equilibrium. You have to make some adjustment to the demand function, so that there will be a point of the Lindahl equilibrium. As of it is, I don't think you can have. All right. If you increase the tax to 75, because 350 divided by 5, dapat apa? 70 kan? 350 divided by 5, you got 70. If I use
70, sir. Yeah.
70, if I use 70, then you have the equilibrium is but okay, but you have a different outcome. So that question too, I don't know, maybe any of you can understand better than me, but from my understanding, it's quite contradictory, because they give 50, they don't give you from the text here 50, that means the average cost is 250. If you sum up, if you get the market demand, there will be no Q where the marginal cost or the marginal benefit, the sum is 250, it's 350. So probably what they mean was, the tax share is 70. If the tax share is 70, then okay, then you can do that. So you try this lah. Okay, the first part you buat macam ni. The second part tu, okay, the second part, this will now become redundant lah. My question for this one will be redundant. So the second part of that question, we will do the second part. You do this, okay? You go by the book. You will see, because when you sum up the market demand function, you will not get 250. So for the second part, okay, just for your practice, you make it the tax share 70. 70 times 5, 350. Okay, so you will get the political equilibrium, and also you will get the Lindahl equilibrium, and they are not the same. Okay, so you do that as second part. And this one, okay, this one, tak payah buat lah. Nanti kita lagi pening. Okay, if you do this one, then okay, you can also do that one. This one now becomes third part. So you don't worry about the average cost, anything like that. You don't worry about the market demand function. You just do the voting. Okay. So for the third part, you do the political equilibrium only. Because if I do this change, you will get 50% plus 1. And you go back to t equal to 50. Okay, go back t equal to 50. Okay, all right. So just practice, When you do the practice, different numbers, you do some thinking, which is good. All right, okay. So I want you also to do number 4. Okay, number 4 is using the median voter theorem. And then number 5, and number 5, you don't have to answer that number 5. but read the Niskanen model of bureaucracy. Okay? Make sure you know why the equilibrium under the bureaucracy model it's inefficient. Okay, so basically that is chapter number 5. The important things of chapter number 5 is on those questions. Okay, anything else? Any question? All right, good. Now, do you understand what I say here? Okay, do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So for the second part, okay, you use the text share. Ni kat sini kan? You use text share 50, 70. Lepas tu the third part, which I change the Susan demand function, you go back to 50. Okay, so now we're going to continue from where we left last time, last class. Okay, I show you the last note. Because each note ni, the maximum dia ada 100 page je. All right. Now this is where we left last time. So you have, price tags. In the book, use unit tags. So sama je lah. Okay, unit tags. Here use price tags. So okay, unit tags. It's in terms of money. So the tax is T. All right, and you see that the supply function or the marginal cost will decrease or increase. Increase by the amount of the tax. In other words, simply put, when the firm is charged the tax, the firm simply raise the price. Okay, raise the price by the tax. So if you think of that way, if the firm impose the tax, then they will increase the price by the amount of the tax. Now to see how, you look at the Q. For each Q, say Q, or your Q1. So let's say this is 1, okay? Say 1. Now at Q equal to 1, suppose the price, you call that price, I'll just give you P0 tu kita dah guna. So kata 10, okay? Just get the number. And the tax is T, all right? Let's say now, tax is, kata 5, okay? Kata 5. So when the firm is imposed the tax, they will just increase the price by the amount of the tax. So example here, at Q equal to 1, the price is 5. So what happened to the price after the tax? What is the price when after the tax is imposed? Anybody? Okay, Q equal to 1, price there 10. We charge tax 5 ringgit. So now what happened to the price?
15,
What is the price
sir.
now? Huh?
15.
Be 15. Okay.
15.
So, what? 15, right? 15, that point.
Yes.
Okay, I just increased the price by the tax. So that's why we got, okay, the marginal cost, simply the marginal cost plus T, or the price plus T. So for the firm, they are doing it easy. So at any price, they will increase the price by the same amount of the tax. So if at Q equal to 2, that is the price, I will increase by the tax, 5 ringgit. So that's why you got S1. Okay, all right, good. So you see here the equilibrium will be changed from E0 to E1. And then we discussed already, all right, Q1 to Q0 to Q1. And then the price will go up from P0 to P1. And then the tax, which will go to the government, that will be equal to, if you look at the graph, okay, at that point, Q1, that is the amount of the tax. And in terms of the prices, it is the difference between P1 and P2. It's not P1 and P0. Okay, so I think that's where we left last class. So the tax is equal to P1 minus P2, which we call PC, the consumer's price. That is how much we pay, minus PF, which is the firm price, the price received by the firm. And if you take the P0, which is the market equilibrium price before the tax, we can break out the tax, okay? P1 minus P2. One is P1 minus P0 plus P0 minus P2, or PC minus P0 plus P0 minus PF. So that is the components of the tax. So that is where we left last class. Now, going forward, you will see here the tax, okay? Tax is equal to PC minus PF. So you go back to the graph. I think I need to draw the graph again, because that graph is in the other note. So susah nak refer. So what I will do, kita draw lah balik graph. Tak apa. Banyak kali draw graph ni, kita pun boleh faham. Okay, yang ni tak nak saya erase lah. I think we already clear on that thing. So I draw the graph which we have earlier. So you got that one is S0, which is MC0 lah. All right. Here you got the demand function, which is the marginal benefit. And then the tax was imposed. That will be the marginal cost plus T, or the price plus T. And that is the T. Okay. So you have equilibrium E0, E1. All right. So you got P1, P0. Q0, sorry. Q1, Q0, P0, P1. Ini P2 kat sini. Okay, P2. And then that P1 and P2, this is the firm, the consumer's price, the one that you pay. This is the firm price, the firm that get. So the tax will be that much. Okay, all right. So the tax is equal to P1 minus P2. That will be equal to P1 minus P0 plus P0 minus P2. Or in terms of PC and PF, it is equal to PC minus P0 plus P0 minus PF. So there are two components of the tax. Now we call this first part the burden of the tax. So what we are going to look at now is the incidence of the tax. That means the distribution of the tax. Incidence means the distribution of the burden. Okay, burden of the tax. Now, tax is a burden because you pay to the government. We should have used the money for consumption or investment, but the government take it away. So it's a burden on us. Okay, so the distribution of the burden of the tax is called the incidence of the tax. Now, if you look at the incidence of the tax here, from this diagram, who bear the burden of the tax? Now, like I said earlier, the tax is imposed on the firms, on the supply functions, okay, on the firm. And as we know, what the firm does is that they will just reduce the supply. That means they just increase the price by the amount of the fee, okay? And that will lead to the incidence of the tax. Now, who bear the burden of the tax? Look at the diagram. You know PC, okay? That's what is the price that we pay. And then you know the PF, that is the price the firm will get. So, what can you say about the incidence of the tax?
Both will bear with the burden, sir.
Both. What do you mean both?
The firm also need to pay for the tax and also as customer.
So if you look at the incidence of the tax, even though the tax is imposed on the firms, but what the firm does, the firm raises the price. Okay. So when the firm raises the price, then the incidence of the tax will be what? Will be borne. Will be borne by what? By both parties. When we say both parties, that means the sellers and also the firm. Seller dan firm sama kan? Borne by both parties, the firms and consumers. Okay, and we get it from here also. When the firm increases the price, that means the firm is transferring the tax to the consumers. So the burden of the tax will be borne by both parties. All right, simply because the firm will raise the price. Okay, so that is the incidence of the tax. And now if you look at this sum of the tax, where is, coming from the burden or the incidence is going to be shared by both parties. So you can see here, PC minus P0 is what? Is the incidence on whom? On the firm, on the consumers. So here, burden on consumers. Okay, what about this one? This one, burden on firms. So the tax is being, the burden of the tax will be shared by both parties, okay? The firms and the seller, the firms and the consumers. So PC minus P0, that will be the burden on the firms, on the consumers. So consumers will bear that part of the tax, or the incidence of the tax, that part will be a burden to the consumers. And then P0 minus PF, that will be the burden on the consumers. Now, the burden on the consumers is due to what? It's due to, we have to pay higher price. We have to pay higher price. Have to pay, I forgot. Pay higher price than, okay, than before. Okay, you have to pay higher price than before the tax. Okay, now what about the burden of the firms? The firm will receive what? Will receive a lower price, okay, than before the tax. Okay, if you look at the before the tax, consumers pay P0. Okay, consumers pay P0. The firm will get P0. Okay, so that's what they get. That's what they pay, and that's what the firm get. Now, after the tax, you pay PC. So PC is higher than P0. So you have to pay higher price. Why? Because of the tax. And then the firm will get less than P0. Why? Because of the tax. Okay, so they will get less. So the burden will be borne by both parties. Okay, all right. Any question about this? Now, example, if you look at the book uses numbers. So we follow the number used by the book. Okay, so if you look at the book, they put P0 is 1. Okay, P0 is equal to 1. So we just use that number. And then the tax is 50, no, 50, 0.25, 25 cents. Tax is 0.25. And then if you look at the changes in the price that we pay after the tax is 115. And then the firm will get 90 cents. So we just go by the book. Okay. So you will see here, all right, for that example, go by the example, the tax is $0.25 or RM imposed on the firms. Okay, as we can see, the supply will decrease by the amount of the tax. And you have the shift of the supply, okay, to the left. So if you can see the diagram, they will have, you know, the new supply function, S1 is equal to MC plus the tax. Or you can put S1 equal. Kita tengah pakai equal. Okay, S1 should be P1. Okay, P1 equal to MC plus T. So that is S1. So you got that. Okay, and as a result of that, the price increases from P0, which is $1, and then the new equilibrium price or the new price consumers will pay is 115. Okay, so if you look at that diagram, PC is equal to 115, Pn is equal to 0.9. So tax, okay, equal to 0.25. That will be equal to what? PC minus PF. Okay, so that will be equal to 1.15 minus 0.9. That will be 25 cents. And that is equal to, break it out, PC minus P0, okay, plus P0 minus PF, okay? And we will know, you know, P0 is 1 from the diagram, and that will be equal to what? That will be equal to 1.15 minus 1 plus 1 minus 0.9. And that will be equal to 0.15 plus 0.1. And of course, that is equal to 25 cents. So why you break it out? Because we want to see that is the burden of the tax on the consumers. And that is the burden of the tax on the firms. Okay. So this is what you call the economic incidence of the tax. Betul ke term dia? Saya dah lupa dah term dia. Economic apa? Economic burden of the tax. They use economic incidence of the tax. That is the economic incidence of the tax. So that is what you call the economic incidence of the tax. So economic incidence tadi kita kata incidence kan? Now I put the word economic. Actually economic ini kita economic dia kena put bracketnya. We call it economic incidence or the incidence of the tax. So the incidence of the tax, 15 cents will be the burden on the firms, or I'm sorry, on the consumers. Okay, and then 10 cents will be the burden or the share of the tax on the firm. So we end up paying higher price. Firms end up getting lower price. Okay, so 25 cents will be shared by both. Okay, now, just an extension. How do we know how much is going to be paid by firms and how much will be paid by us of the tax? Here in this example, 15 and 10. But how do you know, what is the distribution? Okay, the distribution will, to a certain extent, depend on one important factor. That will be on the elasticity of the demand. Okay, elasticities of demand and supply, and we're going to look at this later on. Okay, for now, we argue that the incidence of the tax will be borne by both parties. Okay, but the distribution will be determined by the elasticities. Okay, so that one we come back later. Now, when you say economic incidence, that will be the distribution of the incidence of the tax on the consumers and on the firms. Now, why we say economic? Because when the tax is imposed, okay, the tax can be imposed on whom? Can be imposed on the firms, which we do at that example. But that is not the only party that the firm or that the government can impose the tax on. Who else can the government impose the tax on other than the firms? Hello, anybody here? Okay, who else can the firm impose the tax on? The firm, who else the government can impose the tax on?
The producers, meaning like before it went to the firm, the producers of the raw material.
In our simple example, that is firm, okay? Firm is the producer. The firm is the seller, okay? So if you are talking about the producers, okay, if you're talking about the producers, so the producers in that market, who will the producer sell the product to?
The consumers.
Not consumers yet, the producers. Now you're talking about the secondary market. You have the firm. The firm here is the retailers. Okay, and retailers to the consumers. So now, okay, now our economic example, normally we put this as firms. Okay, and we assume the firm are also the producers. And they can be also the retailers, and that's the consumers. So we assume a simple market like that. Now, if you break out the market, of course, you have a secondary market. The producers, okay? That means if you are selling Coke, that is the factory, okay? The reproducers, the factory. Now, when the factory produce the Coke, they will sell to the retailer, okay? So, if you look at that market, who is the consumer and who is the buyer, who is the seller? The producer, retailer. You sell the Coke to the retailer. Now, who is the seller? Who is the consumer? Who is the buyer now?
Seller, retailer is the buyer.
Retailer is the buyer. Producer is the seller. Okay, so that is another market. So when you are saying producer, okay, we are saying it that kind of market. All right. So now he is the seller. That's the buyer. Now you look at the primary market. Okay, the one that we deal every day. You have the consumers, you have the retailers. This is what the market is in economics. The firms can be the retailer, producers, and also can be the retailer. So if you're talking about this market, the one that we're doing now, who is the seller? Seller.
The retailers are the sellers.
The firm, seller. Okay, the firms. And the supply come here. These are the consumers, the buyers. Okay. Yeah. So now, by what you say, okay, of course, that one has relation to this. If I don't impose the tax on the sellers, okay, or on the firms, who should I impose the tax on?
The producers?
Are the producers or consumers?
The consumers. Okay. If I don't impose on the seller, I impose on the buyers. All right. If it is a producer, then seller still, you know. So it can be what? Can be from on the sellers or the firms. It can be on the buyers, consumers. So the tax can be imposed also on the consumers. Now, if I impose the tax on the consumers, that will affect the demand function. Okay. So this imposition of the tax by the government, that means by the law. So this one by law, we call it statutory incidence of the tax. Okay, so that is statutory incidence of the tax. So the statutory incidence is the legal, okay, the legal assignment of the tax. That is the legal imposition of the tax. The government can impose the tax, say here, 25 cents on the firms. But the government can also impose the tax, okay, on the consumers, 25 cents. So that is the legal imposition, or with the term is statutory. This is a legal term, okay? And then you have the economic incidence. The economic incidence is the reality, okay? The real life burden of the tax. All right? Okay, good. Do you understand? Okay, now you look at this example, the one that we are discussing now. The statutory incidence. Who bear the burden? Who bear the legal incidence of the tax? The example that we're doing now. Which party bear the burden of the tax legally?
The firms and the consumers.
No. I'm talking about the legal incidence. The legal incidence. That means the statutory incidence. Who bear the burden of the tax? Who the government imposed the tax on?
Firms.
The firm. Okay. So in this example, the government can impose legal incidence, or the statutory incidence can be either the firm or the sellers. The firms, sellers, or the consumers. So in this example, you're talking about the firms. Okay, example. The example, the model that we've been looking at. And of course, I said earlier, the government can also impose the tax on the consumers. So that is the legal incidence. The government say, okay, firms, you pay tax, 25 cents. So that is the legal incidence, statutory incidence. Now, what about the economic incidence? So the firm is imposed the tax, okay? They have to pay 25 cents. That is legally. Now, second, what is the economic incidence? So the example that you have here, T is equal to berapa sen tadi? 25 cents. That is imposed on the firms legally. Okay, the supply function will shift. So now, what is the economic incidence? Is it the same as the legal incidence, or what? Okay, think. Economic incidence is the incidence that happen in the market, all right, after the exchange has been done.
Sir, both parties will
That will be
bear
shared by both parties.
the
Okay,
economic
so
incidence.
the economic incidence, if you impose the tax on the firm will transfer, okay, some of the burden of the tax. We call it the firm transfer the burden, okay, the burden. That means part lah, okay. It can be all, you know, the burden of the tax to whom? To the consumers by increasing the price. Okay, by increasing the price. We already discussed that. So therefore, the economic incidence will be shared by both parties. So the economic incidence, as we discussed here, the consumers will pay some part of it, the firms will pay some part of it. So the economic incidence and the legal incidence or the statutory incidence, they are not the same. Okay, it can be different. So it's different thing. Okay, statutory can be just by the law. All right, but what happened in the market is a different thing. So that is the incidence of the tax. Okay, any question on that one? Okay, I wanted to discuss this later, but I think it should be now because the tax is imposed on one party. Okay, the tax is imposed on one party. The tax can be imposed on the firms, or the tax can be imposed on the consumers. All right.
Sir,
Okay.
sir,
Yeah.
for example, when what you said has actually brought something to mind. Like for example, the difference between GST previously and SST. That the GST they say that it avoids double taxation. So can you like explain more on that, like regarding
Okay. All right. The
and everything?
GST and the SST is a different system. Okay, a different system of price tax. So that is not as easy as what we are doing now. Okay, a different system. So if you want to look at the difference between the SST and the GST, I cannot do it now because we just learned a little bit about the tax concept. Okay, we can make the comparison after we finish chapter number 11. Okay, after you finish this chapter number 11, and then we can go into that. Otherwise, if you do it now, we don't understand. Okay, so
Yes, I understand,
I would like to, I would like to go into the concept of taxation first. Look at the elasticities, look at the excess burden, and then we look at the difference in the GST and SST. I also plan to mention that. Okay, but thank you for reminding me.
But I also want to ask like about the double taxation.
Huh?
About double taxation, like what you mentioned when both the producers and the firms, when both the producers as well as the consumers are being taxed, it feels like it's double taxation. That is it true or is it different?
That's why if you look at rule of taxation, you only tax the final product. We only tax the final product. That means you tax the last market where you do the exchange between the firms and the consumers. In the secondary market, let's say the retailers and the wholesalers and the producers, it will not be taxed, because you have the market, many level of market. You have here the producers, okay? Say here the fishermen, okay, with the fish. You go to the wholesalers, okay? Wholesalers ni middleman lah, all right? And then the middleman will sell to whom? To the retailers. And some goods, you have a much higher level of market. And then the retailers will do the exchange with the consumers. So if the fish that you eat is the final good, okay, final goods and services, okay, then you do the tax here. There is no tax over there. There is no tax here. Okay. And then suppose the retailer here or the wholesaler selling to another firm, another retailer. I think, okay. So it can be here the fish, or it can be fish soup. All right. Or if as long as it is sold as input, it will not be taxed. So that will be there. So that is what you call the price tax. Okay, or the SST. The GST, okay, the GST ni, hentam semua kat sini. Sini pun hentamnya tax. Okay, sini lagi sekali tax. Bukannya double taxation, triple. Ni tax lagi. If you have 5 level of market, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, sampai sini consumer ni. 1, 2, 3, 4. You tax every level of production. GST at all level. Okay? Every level of production you will be taxed. And every level of consumer service tax rentam. You do photostat tax. You do Grab tax. So everything will be taxed. So that is what you call multi-level marketing, multi-level tax. For the SST, we only tax the final good. So that is the basic difference. Okay, so that is the basic difference. Here you tax every level of the market. Okay, all right. So to have more detail, okay, to look more detail, you can Google GST. Okay, Google ya, susah. Okay, Google GST tu, tengok, and then compare SST. Right now Malaysia, okay, is good for our country. Because GST masa zaman Datuk Seri Najib, GST. Okay, Barisan Nasional dulu GST. After the PH take over, kita pakai SST balik. And then sekarang ni PN, they don't change. Okay, if the government now change to GST, I think people can go crazy. Okay, you see, you Grab food, the service charge is RM5. When they impose GST, boom, naik RM6. Okay, so now I don't think the government PN will go back to GST. They are in trouble. And now, the economic condition is not good. And there was some MP, I think the last few months, some member of parliament was suggesting go back to GST. I think Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin diam. If they do that, you will see, people going crazy. All right, okay. Now Google benda ni lah. Okay, Google GST, Google SST. Okay, any other?
Thank you.
Any other question? Any comment?
Sir, so in your opinion, you would say that SST is better than GST, is it?
Entahlah.
Because for me personally, I think GST is better.
It's not so easy question, But to me, because I am quite old-fashioned, old school, but to me, I always prefer SST. All right. People are talking about GST more efficient, GST that you can raise more revenue, but I think I still believe in SST. I think the problem with us is not the system of the tax; it's the system of conducting the tax. You don't enforce, you don't monitor, you don't. There are so many leakages. So corruption, things like that. So that's why you have less revenue. So it's not a matter of system, it's a matter of implementation. Even under GST, you will still have, if you are corrupted, there are so many leakages, then that will not raise the revenue that you need. But let's suppose, there is no corruption, everything is good. I still prefer the SST. To me lah, but of course, that is subject to debate. So many people believe in GST, some people say SST. So that is a difference in opinion. All right, but to me personally, I would go with SST anytime. So when the PH government won the election, the one thing that I like is the tax. They go back to SST. Of course, there are other things they do, we don't really like, but some of the things they were doing, going back to SST, which I like, and also make the government more efficient, Those are the things. Hopefully, they will continue doing that. Okay, anything else?
Sir, just to confirm for our midterm this Thursday, it will comprise of chapter 3, 4, and 5, right?
Yeah, chapter 3, 4, 5, yeah. 3 chapters only. All right.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. So I'll give you time about 1 hour, 1 hour, 10 minutes like that. Okay? Okay, good. Anything else? Okay, so we'll stop here. Next week, I'm going to continue with the analysis of the economic incidence of the tax. We're going to look at the excess burden, and then we're going to look at the incidence more detail when you factor in the elasticities of the demand and supply. So that's it for today. I'll see you again. So study, okay? You have 2 more days to study. I hope everybody put the work. And I will see you again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.